Hello, everybody. Talo Falava, and welcome back to our weekly chat, our weekly Fatata Noanga. I know we missed around 1 or 2 weeks. It was Mother's Day. We got to take a break, right, Doctor? Sometimes we got to take a break, and that is what a lot of people are missing. They work and work and work. You got to take time out for yourself. So it was Mother's Day. I got to take a break. We got to take a break. And I believe Dr. Tarisi believes that too. And what an amazing, amazing moment. I'm really excited. I have been trying to get a hold of this beautiful lady right here with me. We have Dr. Tarisi Vunidilo. Forgive me if I say your name incorrect, but Dr. Tarisi Vunidilo from our beautiful island of Fiji. And I believe that a lot of you know her from the media. She's all over the Facebook as well. And I believe she's on YouTube as well. She's here to share her wisdom with us, her knowledge with us. No, I believe in if you want to be successful, if you just started a business, be around those kind of people, be around educated people, be around successful people, learn from them and take it and run with it. It's always about your environment. It's always around, if you're around, I don't want to say but I'm going to say, if you're around dumb people, it's not going to help you go anywhere. Mm-hmm. You want to be successful, you got to be around the successful people, people with wisdom, people with knowledge, and learn from them. So I don't want to talk too much, but I want to give this moment to Tarisi Pullen. And welcome to our program, Doctor. And thank you so much for giving us this moment, this precious moment with us. I know I'm going to learn a lot from you too. I'm going to learn a lot from you too. So, Doctor, I'm going to give you this moment to please introduce yourself and and go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Talafalava Luana. Happy Samoa Language Week. I know they are celebrating in Aotearoa and also in Samoa, and we're all celebrating the Samoan language all over the world. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the warm invitation to be part of this amazing program. My name is Tarisi Vunidilo, and I'm originally from Fiji. My parents are from the same island on the south of Fiji, the island called Kandavu. So my dad is Navitalai Sorovi. He's from the village of Natokalau, the district of Yahweh. And my mother, late mother, Meriseni Bongitini Vatu. She's from the village of Nukunuku on the neighboring district of Tavuki. I have 6 siblings. I'm the youngest of them all, and I'm currently logging in from the beautiful Big Island here in Hawaii, where I'm teaching at the University of Hawaii-Hilo. Thank you.
Doctor, you are a woman of many hats, and I don't want to say that in the wrong way. Majoring and mastering every hat that she wears. She's a doctor, she's a professor in a university in Hawaii. She's majoring in a lot of areas. And she's also, she's also well known on the media. She has a big, well known platform on the Facebook and even YouTube as well. How do you manage? How do you manage? How do you juggle? What is the secret?
Thank you. I think, Luana, one of my favorite words that I use in life is the word balance, and I take time out when the right time is there for me to take a break, but also when it comes to work, I put fun and love into it. So even though I'm teaching and I'm doing researching and I'm writing, I'm enjoying that moment. So it's not kind of something that I um, you know uh, put too much pressure on myself, to do certain things. So I balance it out really well. And the second suggestion to that as well is having a good support system. So once you have, number one, have a really balanced way of viewing work and pleasure, you can also find the right people to work alongside you. So for me, my best support system are my family, and it's my husband, Master Kali Vunidilo, and my two children, Merewe Rita, my daughter, she's 23, and Leo, he's 21 years old. And so the projects that I'm doing on the side, which is the Talanoid Dr. T program, which is on social media, including YouTube, is I'm usually the one that front it, but the support when it comes from content or research and also the technology, the artistic side, my family support me in it as well. And so that kind of, alleviates any unnecessary pressure on me to deliver. But as you said rightly earlier on, Luan, when you have the urge to take a break, do it. Take a break. And I've done that, and I come back with more energy and more positive vibes that I can share, with our listeners. So those are the two uh, key things that I try and do. Having that view of balance, and number two, having a really good support system beside you.
You are you're mainly the face of your family, huh? How do you handle that paparazzi?
Uh, Thank you. Yes, I've had a number of opportunities, even at airports. I remember flying in from Honolulu, even through to was it Los Angeles? There were a couple of families that came over, and we took pictures together. It's really kind of fun. I always look at those opportunities to connect with them. I always tell them, "Oh, where are you from? Which part of Fiji are you from? Or which part of Hawaii? Which part of the Pacific?" And it's really cool. My son is very shy. My daughter is very much like me, a social butterfly. So yeah, I try to share the attention with them too. So even though they may be hiding behind me, I'll be like, "Oh, that's my family over there," and then they try to hide, and then I have to get them over. If they kind of come and take photos or just talk to the people that we talk to. I find it really, really fun and rewarding.
Let's talk about the your media, your platform online. It's like I mentioned before, the Facebook and the YouTube. And her platform is very big. I mean, a lot of it I don't understand because it's in the beautiful Fijian language. What is the main focus of your program?
Mm. So for me, the main focus of my program is to share, heritage knowledge and indigenous Fijian wisdom to my people. So that was the first purpose, that I'm going to share what I have the opportunity to research about, because my field is in museology, archaeology, and anthropology, and I've done a lot of this work in that encompasses the Fijian culture, and I believe that my people need to know about this knowledge, and therefore. I present in my indigenous language, and a lot of people ask me, "Why don't you speak in English in your program?" And I tell them that that's the main focus of why I wanted to do this program in my language, because there's not very many people who are speaking this language, and this is one way I can contribute to the maintenance and keeping the language alive.
That is your advantage. I mean, that's a great advantage because when you look at it, there's a lot of people who are in the media who are doing the exact same thing as you and me, but they only speak one language. Of course, they're from Samoa. The
Mhm.
Fijians speak our beautiful language. I loved it. I love what you do. And um, what are the resources? I know there's so many beautiful resources in Fiji that you are. I mean, you're seeing in your research. What is? I mean, there's so much resources to be successful in our countries, in our islands, and in Fiji, what do you think that's missing with the people in order for them to learn, how to use the resources that they have?
Mm. I think one thing that is missing, Luana, is a lot of times people don't know where to look. So that is one of the reason why I do what I do online, is to offer assistance or give guidance, as to where they can go to find that information. Um, I started off this program by utilizing our museums and our archives and our libraries as sources of information and history. And so that's what I try to encourage a lot of our young up and coming researchers, our university students, our high school students, school leavers, to go to these places and encourage them that these institutions like museums, libraries, and archives, these are heritage institutions that are there for our benefit. They're not for tourists. They are put together for us as Fijians to access this information. So that's one thing I find. One is they don't know where to look, and number two is they don't know how to do the research. And so that is where I invite experts to come on my program. I invite them to come along and share. I've invited some of our museum staff. I've invited some of our archivists. I've invited some librarians, and they come in. So some spoke in English, some spoke in Fijian, and to tell the viewers, what should they do when they come to the library? What should they do when they come to the archives? And I have to say, Luana, it was such an empowering exercise, because a lot of people who are listening, they began to put a face to the name. So now when they go to the library, they know who to ask for. When they go to the museum, they know what this person looks like. So it gives them that kind of confidence that when they are doing this research, they're not alone. And the people that they're gonna go and ask, they look just like them, and they can speak the same Itoke language that they speak. So that's kind of like the beauty about what I'm trying to do on my program, is to, demystify a lot of these areas of research that may be confusing to some people, but in actual fact, it's not supposed to be confusing. It's supposed to be easy. But my role is just to hold their hand and open the door and allow them to enter.
That's amazing, doctor. I mean, from what I learned, and people think that you can just step up and do something. You got to research. You got to have the knowledge. You got to learn. You got to go and hear from people who were already there. And I
Mhm.
think that's one of the main thing that's also missing. They think they can just jump in and do it like that and just be successful. And like you said, there's so much resources, but they just don't know where to look, who to ask. What do you see in our islands? I mean, mainly we're talking about Fiji. I mean, it's the same as Samoa as well. What industry? I see that their mainly focus is on the tourism, which of course, because beautiful islands, a beautiful islands. What do you see? What industry do you see that the people are putting in the back burner that you believe is one of the major success of our country and our people?
Yes. So for me personally, that's a really good question. How I, look at Fiji from my standpoint is that the focus of our country, even in the whole Pacific, is our people. I've traveled all around the world. I've seen and met people of different cultural backgrounds, and I come back to the Pacific and I come back to Fiji. I get to value our people more. We are so hospitable. There's a lot of human traits that we are born with that are part of us. And if only the government can focus on that and, incorporate some of the natural um, skills that a lot of our people have, which I think in the case of Fiji that makes our tourism so unique. It's because of the friendliness of the people. And the other thing too that I find is that a lot of the cultural aspect of our culture and our heritage is not tapped enough. And when I say not tapped enough, it's kind of like at the moment it's just very superficial, or they haven't really dug into it to actually explore elements of the Fijian culture that that we can share to the rest of the world. And when I say that, I also include tribes and cultures that are in the remote areas of the islands. At the moment, when it comes to Fiji's tourism, there's a lot of attention on the sand, sun, and surf. So a lot of the tourism brochures, it showcases a lot of the white sandy beaches, the islands and the ocean and all of that. I come from the islands myself, from the island of Kandavo on the south of Fiji. But there's other elements of the islands in the mountains, the interior tribes, with the waterfalls and the flora and fauna that are untouched. And so, if the tourism departments of our islands, even in the case of Fiji, if they open up the opportunity for tourists to actually go to the interior part of the main islands, especially Vitilevu and Vonolevu, and improve the infrastructure, improve the roads, bring the electricity, build, really good, strong bridges so that, our visitors and even our local tourists can also explore the interior of these islands. There's so much more, that they can be able to share, and the country will benefit from it.
Wow. I traveled to Samoa. What I was waiting to catch my plane to the States. And I said, beautiful. Fiji has been developed a lot. I mean, I saw beautiful airport and, around it's just beautiful. She said, no, we're still behind, Lou. We are just still behind. Do you believe that we need a lot of developers coming from overseas to come and develop, or do you think Fiji has the money to develop it?
Um, I think, sometimes, I think I always use that phrase, for us to start first in Jerusalem, you know.
Mhm,
Um, 'Cause so sometimes, our manpower and our resources are already in front of us. And sometimes
mhm,
we're always looking out, to other parts of the world to help us. And so I would think, that we should work with the resources that we have. We have
mhm.
some really highly qualified people. We have some really amazing engineers. We have some, amazing people that can manage our finances and things like that within Fiji. Um, and then when we need help, then we can reach out, to the rest of the world. Um, that's kind of like sort of my life's philosophy. Instead of asking or go out to seek help, look within and find out what can we do now, that can help us in the meantime, before we go out to ask for help. um, in the case of Fiji, you're definitely right when you were mentioning about that friend of yours, saying that we still have a long way to go. And I would agree to a certain extent. Fiji has so much potential. um,
Mhm.
Even in human resource, we have so many well qualified people, of all races, and that what makes Fiji so unique, because we are very cosmopolitan. We have the Toke culture, we have our brothers and sisters who are of Indo-Fijian backgrounds, we have our Fiji Chinese brothers and sisters, we have our part Europeans families, and the list goes on. We even have Samoans and Tongans who have called Fiji home, so it makes Fiji so unique that way. So what I'm looking at is to look at the government of the day to tap into the knowledge base, that we have already, the people, the ideas. And then when we need the finances, if the current government have it already, it's really great, to utilize that within the budgetary system within the government. And if it needs help and support, I'm sure other countries around the world can step in. But definitely right. Fiji has um, a huge potential, a lot of potential, but we can all get there if we all work together.
All work together. All work together. Um, in the education area, as a professor, it has been shifting a lot. It has been shifting a lot. It's a great shifting. I'm not going to speak negative of it. It's a great shifting. There's one area that I look at it when my children came home and say they are, they're getting teach how to use the condom, right? On how to use the condoms, and they don't really know what they don't really know their private part. They don't really know, and I'm not ashamed to say this because we got to share this subject.
Mhm.
They're talking about how to use the condoms, but don't you believe that we got to teach them? We got to teach them their code, where they need to go before they learn how to use the condom and learn about themselves.
Mhm.
What do you think about that subject?
Yes. So to me personally, Luana, for me, I believe in education starts at home. Um, Education and lifelong learning. It's part of us as soon as we are born, and we'll continue learning until we die. And so I truly believe that the home is where the first education starts, and that's where parents need to do their part to talk about these sensitive topics, even within the home. And when we do that from a very early age, they won't be, I think the Maori word is whakama, they won't be shy, as they get into the teenage years, they'll be like, oh, mom, don't say that. Oh, mom, you're making me shy, But when we encourage, the discussion about their bodies and about having a boyfriend and a girlfriend, in the future, having your own family at a very young age, it becomes a normal conversation. And I think when they go to school and they get taught all of that you just mentioned, they already have the grounding. They've already got the foundation from home, and it gives them that confidence. It gives them the confidence when they're listening to this teacher explaining about their bodies. I'm sure at the back of their mind, they'll be like, yep, mom was telling me about that last time, or dad, we were having a family meeting and we talked about that, or even I went to church and we talked about that. And so I think it's really important that we begin that education from a very early age at home. And I'm sure with a lot of our social support system, whether it's through our extended family, through our social groups, through church, all of that can add to that training. I totally believe that it should start from home, because if they're coming home with all those information and we know that we haven't talked about that at home, then something is missing. So I believe that we are the first teachers as parents at home, and then the teachers at school add to the value and the knowledge that can be added to what is already been taught for them when they were little. So that's personally how I view it, that it should be a combination of both.
Doctor, I know that our connection is that sometimes it keep cutting off. Uh, we don't know what's going on with the connection. I know it keeps coming off. That's a great subject. I don't want you or the viewers and the listeners to miss this subject, because it still is the subject that is the taboo
Mm,
in some churches and some families and some homes, and especially us from the islands. Oh, you can't talk to me. You can't talk to me about that. You're too little to talk about that. You can't, stay away. That's not the subject that you should talk about. We always tell them to find your place and sit somewhere. How do you approach? How do you approach as a parent
mm,
and as a teacher, as a professor? How do you approach caretakers or parents like that, or
mm.
leaders?
Yes, that's a really good question. For me, wearing my mother hat or as a parent hat, um, from a very young age, we've included our children in this kind of discussion, this kind of sharing. And, we openly discuss a lot of these things, even though they may be taboo or tapu, as you beautifully expressed it. Um, and we feel that time has changed, because in my generation and my husband's generation, we're exactly what you've just discussed. It's like, that's not your place. Don't say it. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to say that. There's a lot of do not do. But
Mm,
I think we're coming into a time where we have to be relevant to the children of today. This is 2023. The taboo system is what we were brought up in. But if we're living in a world that encourages that discussion, of knowing your body and knowing about the taboo, and preparing our children for adulthood, I think if we create a very safe space in the home, it will make everyone comfortable. Our children will be open to come and tell us, Mom, this happened at school. Dad, this happened at school. And that's something we encourage within our home. When we were living in New Zealand before, that was something we encouraged in the home, and the children were very open when they were, even exposed to drugs. My son came home and told us on the same day that, a young boy, offered him a packet of something, and he kindly, said no. But the interesting point about that to Luana is that before that exact activity happened, we've already been talking about drugs. We've already been talking about what should you do when you are exposed to these things at school. So that is something that I want to encourage our parents today, is not to be shy to talk about it in the family. And we always have a family meeting once a week, sometimes for half an hour or an hour, just to talk about what happened in the week, any interesting happening, any worries or any concern. And we have it in a family setup, which we were doing when they were very little. So now they're both in their early 20s. It's second nature to us to have a meeting. When something happens, we need to sit down and have a meeting, and they both understand why and how we deal with our face-to-face talanoa. So that's something that I want to encourage. And for school, wearing my professor hat, that's something I really want to encourage parents. Even for wanting to know about what's going on in school, I really want to encourage our parents to visit their lecturer, visit the professor. We always admire parents who come and see us. To us, to me as a teacher, when I see a parent come in to see me because of their child, it shows to me that this particular parent is very concerned and love their child so much that
mm.
they invest that time to come away from work or come away from take time off just to come and see me to ask, how's my son doing? How's my daughter doing? Or my daughter mentioned mentioned this to me, and this happened. What's your advice? So that's something I would like to advise, particularly our Pacific parents. Don't be shy. Us as professors, when we see our island parents come to see us, we're very happy. We're very welcoming. And to us, that indicates that education and your child is really important. And we, as a result of that, we will pay more close attention on your child. We'll make sure after class, you'll be like, hey, come here, Sana, are you okay? Is everything fine? So, it's those kind of little um, act of concern that leads to kindness, and it's a win-win. Your child will succeed, and so as I will do my job better as well as the teacher.
Thank you so much for that. I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much. I'm saying this um, because I don't have all the degrees that this beautiful lady has. I don't. I'm so not close to her. But you know what's the difference? I'm bold enough to reach out and ask the question. And you have to. You, the parent, you, the leader, you're my sister, you're my brother. People like Dr. Tarisi should be the kind of people that you can reach out and speak to anything that you want to talk to, especially education with your children.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned, I don't have the degrees close to her, but I have the courage to ask, because if we don't ask, we don't get the answer. We don't. And if you have any question, reach out to her. She has the platform of, what is that? Dr. Tarisi Talanoa, right?
Yeah, Talanoa
What
with
is that?
Dr.
What is
T.
Dr. Talanoa with Dr. T? She even put it in the Samoan language. Talanoa with Dr. T, because what's Talanoa in Fiji language?
Yeah, we also have Talanoa as well, very
So
similar with
Talanoa
Tonga
is
and
the same
Samoa.
word? It's the
Yeah,
same word?
same word.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, she has a huge platform, Talanoa with Dr. T. And if you want to reach out and if you have any question, your children, I know we parents, we always concerned. I mean, we always concerned. And don't tell me that you're not, because I'm going to tell you that you're lying. So if you have any concerns, if you need help, or if you have any question, educational need, we have Dr. Teresa. I know she didn't offer that, but I'm saying that because I can see her heart. She wants to help our people. She wants to help anybody that wants, that needs help. Dr. Teresa, before before our program is close up, I want to ask you this one question. In your environment with as a professor, what can you to Ireland? Because I know that that's where you really put your main focus is to help our Pacific Islanders. Someone who has a vision, who sees the vision that's given to them by our Heavenly Father, but don't know where to go, don't know who to ask, don't know how to start. What can you say to that person?
In terms of education, Luana?
In terms of education or anything, any vision?
Mm, yes, that's a really good question, Luana. Thank you for that. Um, I think a few things I want to share on that part, maybe three things. Um, the first one is to look within. Yeah, look within and find out what is something you really like. What is your passion? What makes you smile? What makes you feel there's fire inside you that keeps you going? Even in the middle of the night, it can wake you up to try and read something or go online and search about something that you're really interested in. That would be one good advice I would like to give to someone who's listening to our Talanoa today. Um, for example, in my case, I love old stories because my mom is a really good tusitala, a really good storyteller, and that stayed with me. In which I learned history through my mom and my dad's storytelling when I was little, and so my interest in the arts, my interest in prehistory, anything old, I love that. And so that kind of guided me all the way through to university, in which I started getting interest in history. I also love the environment, and that's why I chose geography as my major at the University of the South Pacific in Suva. And I love people, and so I chose sociology as one of my majors at the university. So that kind of answers the first question on, looking within. What is something that you are really interested in? And number two, ask for help. Ask for help. There's always someone who is within your own home who will be there to help you. Yeah, because sometimes I always tell my family members, sometimes, I'm not a mind reader, right? I don't have that superpower. But you can only tell me, then I will know what to do if I can help you or not. Yeah. So that's the second advice, is to ask for help. Because someone out there definitely will step up, to help you. And number three is consistency. That's one of my favorite words that I've been using lately, is being diligent and being consistent. So if you are planning to go to school and you're preparing to go and do your certificate program or your diploma program or your degree program, keep going ahead. Don't lose hope. Yeah. Being consistent is really important. right? So if you are doing your readings at home to prepare for you to write your essay or for you to prepare for class, do that as required. Yeah, because once you start to lose that consistency, you'll start to lose interest and you can start to lose your energy to keep doing what you are expected to do. So those are, my three words of advice, and I hope that that'll be, really helpful, Luana. So one is, start within. Yeah, so relook at yourself, asking the question, who am I? Who is Luana? Who is Tarisi? Yeah. Number
Mhm.
two, ask for help. Yeah, someone will be there to help you. And number three, once you choose the pathway that you want to follow, be diligent and be consistent, and it'll never fail. And most of all, very, very important, our Father Almighty, if you rely on His help, to guide you, to help give you that wisdom from above, that's even the icing on the cake.
Dr. Tarisi, that leads me to my other question. Our time is I don't want to keep you too long. Um, he, you know that the social media is one of the platform that you can be successful on. You can, if you don't see anything else that you can do, the platform, if you spend too much of your time on Facebook, you can use that time wisely to do something on the platform, because there's so many people who are making a lot of money from the platform. They do. You just have to ask the right person, just like Dr. Tarisi. I mean, for an example, my mother, hi, mom. She spends hour and hour. Can you imagine if she's using those hours on, you know, hi, mom. I know you can be really successful on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what are the other one? YouTube. There are so many people who are doing silly and I'm saying ridiculous, stupid stuff on Facebook. And even just go feed a dog. And they are making money on Facebook. Just take a video. Just take a video of it. And I'm telling you, people will follow. Whatever it is, just use that time wisely, right? Right, Dr. Teresi? What do you think?
Yes. Absolutely.
Mhm,
We are blessed, Luana, during this time that we have
mhm.
technology, left, right, and center. During my time growing up in Fiji, I remember we didn't even have a television set in the living room up until I was 16. And so, technology today is everywhere. So if we utilize it, to benefit us, just like how you've explained it so clearly there, Luana, definitely, the utilizing the social media, to your advantage. Find out ways you can be able to monetize a lot of the things you can be able to do. A lot of us islanders, we are so talented in so many things. Even, a lot of our aunties, we love to make, beautiful panipopo. We love to cook, we love to bake, we love to weave. And even, for some of our aunties and mamas who are watching, they may like, sewing and weaving baskets. Have someone, your daughter or your granddaughter, take a video and show them how to weave a basket or how to weave a mat. I even have a sun visor here that I
Mhm.
found in one of the shops here in Hawaii last week, and I bought it. And when I was
That's
looking at
good.
it, yes, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, man, my mom, she's such a great weaver. She can make this. People can watch you how to weave it, and when you have your hat, you can even sell it online. So your market is already there. People
Mhm.
can pay through PayPal and Venmo and Zelle, you name it, and that can be an income generating opportunity, for a lot of our people. So that comes back to the first point I was saying to you, Luana, in the beginning. Look within. What is something you're really good at? And use your phone and get someone to video whatever you are doing, put it online, and you'll see magic happen. You have to take that first step, and everything else will come after that.
if you have a phone, I mean, for an example, I seen some people who are doing plantation, and that's all they do. They take video of them planting. They take video of them, weaving the cotton, and just like we say, weaving the cotton. And I see some other people, like you say, baking, and that's all they take video. They take silly videos, or sometimes they very educational videos, and they just put it on generating. You know what, when you get to a certain amount of people in your platform, Facebook automatically reach out to you
Mhm.
to see if you want to make money, because there's so many of us, there's so many islanders who are not really using their time wisely, and they spend so much time on these media. These media is really taking their time from their family, from their vision, from the ideas, from their education. But you can use it wisely. I mean, from Dr. Tarisi, I mean, she has a huge platform, but she used it wisely. You know what, Dr. Tarisi? How I got this idea. I was driving in the car. This was during COVID. I started the platform, and it was such a total 19, and I ignored it, and I just put it aside, and I just never did anything. But it was a totally different name, and I was driving in a car in 2020, and I was so bored because that's not who I am. And remember, it was a shutdown. And a vision came to me. Okay, go back to that platform and use it to benefit other people. Use this time. Don't just sit and watch you. That's where I came up with the Gems of the South Pacific. And I'm telling you, it's my joy. I love it. I love it. And Tarisi, a living witness. Use your time wisely on these platforms. Tarisi, I know it's too much. I talk too much. Tarisi, I'm going to give you this last moment to please encourage someone that is listening out there, and whatever you want to say at this last moment. And I want to thank you for your time. So I'm going to give you the at this time.
Naka. Thank you so much, Luana. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to be part of your amazing show. I was very humbled when I got the invitation from you to come on your show to talk a little bit about my journey, and also our Father Almighty for being so generous with our life, and enabling both you and I who do the same thing, to be able to do what we love, to connect people and empower others. So for me, I just want to leave this reminder for each one of us that, that we need to value ourselves, and, look at the positives thing in everything that you see, everything that you do. I know we all imperfect. We do fall short in lots of things, in what we do. But I think if we see the beauty in everything that you experience, the beauty in other people, the beauty in the flowers, the beauty in the animals, and things that you're surrounded with, you will enjoy life. So those are just the word of advice that I would like to share with our listeners today is, yeah, appreciate your uniqueness, appreciate who you are. Even for those of us who speak a fluent language, even if you just speak fluent Samoan or fluent Tongan, Niuean or Fijian, be proud of it. Yeah, hold on to that language of yours, and you can learn Spanish and English and any other language to add on to your own. That will add so much value into your identity. So, on that note, I just wanted to say vinaka vakalevu, whawhitai tele lava, malo au pito, and mahalo nui to you, Luana, for extending this moment and this time for me to be on your amazing show to share my talano with you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tarisi. It makes me smile inside when you mention our beautiful language. Whenever someone hears us Samoan, me and my family were talking, or other Samoans, they thought that we're arguing. We're just loud people. which is loud, right? You understand me. You understand, which is, we thought, my mother-in-law thought that we argue all the time. We're just loud. Dr. Tarisi, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. I learned so much from you. Like I mentioned before, I don't have the degrees like Dr. Tarisi, but I had the courage to ask her. I was bold enough to ask her. I said, I'm going to talk to this lady, and I want her to share her knowledge, share her wisdom, and I want to thank you. Thank you. I learned so much, and I'm hoping you, our listeners, and you, are the viewers, will learn so much from her, and those who are going to watch later on. If you have any other questions for Dr. Tarisi, any educational questions, she is a professor in the university in Hawaii, and also wear so many successful hats. Okay, so many successful. So just reach out to her. She has a platform of Dr. T, Talanoa with Dr. T on the Facebook and YouTube. Again, I want to thank you, Dr. Tarisi, for your time. And until then, we have next week our Minister of Finance, Ms. Molio, will be here with us. And until then, have a great evening and have a great weekend.
Naka, take care.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Good night.
Good night.